To speed or not to speed? That is the question. While the Flash may be one of the most popular speedsters in existence, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's the fastest. And sometimes, unfortunately, the villains have the edge. Those instances are what we're exploring today. Greetings, Nerd Squad, and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. I'm Connor Monroe, and this is the top 10 villains faster than the Flash. Let's do it. And at 10, Future Flash. Now, Future Flash is going to start off this list because while yes, they are faster than the Flash, and they are a villain, at least overall, Future Flash is literally just another version of Barry from an alternate future where Wally dies. So in an effort to prevent this from happening, Barry kills his rogues gallery, starting with Gorilla Grodd. It's actually pretty brutal because he phases a bomb into his head, but he kills them in order to gain enough speed to return to before Wally died and kill his past self, which would result in either Wally not dying or the most complicated paradox known to man. Like, how is it possible to kill a past version of yourself? Like, does that make any sense? If you kill your past self, then your future self doesn't exist and is therefore unable to travel back in time to kill that version of you. You could say like alternate timelines, but that would still result in a future version of you being unable to travel back since they wouldn't exist. Unless all possible futures exist at the same time and then you traveling back only solidifies what future you'd get. However, then the timeline where you are alive would then not exist, so it couldn't happen. Multiverse, man. Gotta love it. In at 9, Black Racer. First introduced in Captain America number 310 in 1985, the Black Racer is also a villain in the Marvel universe of comics. She was introduced as a member of the Serpent Society and has been a recurring villain over the years, even if they aren't as common as that sentence would make it seem. Ariana Siddiqui can run and move at superhuman speed. She was a member of the 4th Serpent Squad along with Copperhead, Fer de Lance, and Puff Adder. She continued on with the Serpent Society, though appearing sparsely throughout the team's later appearances. Her name and snake motif is actually based on a type of snake found all around the US called the Eastern Racer. The snake is also known as the Black Racer or the Buttermilk Racer. They are nowhere near extinct, unfortunately, but I hardly see snakes nowadays, cross my fingers, so I don't see any harm in having them around, at least. I know that Taylor thinks that snakes are worse than spiders, but he's wrong. You can grab a snake by the head if you're brave enough and then they can't really hurt you, but spiders? Have you seen anyone try to grab a spider by the neck? Exactly. Not even Billy the Exterminator would try that. Okay? Also, if you're enjoying this video and want to see more, be sure you hit that like button and subscribe because it helps us out, and you know the deal. And at 8, Silver Surfer. While the Silver Surfer isn't a villain nowadays, he was introduced as the Herald of Galactus, which even if it's unwillingly is still a pretty evil dude if you look at it like that, since you know you're finding worlds just to put to death basically, like the Intergalactic Executioner. However, the Silver Surfer making use of his cosmic surfboard is pretty damn speedy. Silver Surfer can travel at nearly 500,000 light years per second, which is impossibly fast. That's 2.939 times 10 to the 18th miles per second, let alone per hour. A light year is the distance that light is able to travel in 365.25 days, and is therefore exactly 9,640,730,472,580.8 kilometers. Ha! That's that times 500,000 per second. The only reason Surfer isn't higher on this list is because he went light side. If he had stayed a villain or was at least a willing Herald of Galactus for reasons other than saving people, he would have been number 1. And at 7, The Rival. Edward Claris was a professor at the university attended by Jay Garrick. He believed that he had recreated the formula that gave Garrick his speed, but pissed at the rejection of his research claims by the scientific community, Claris became a criminal, wearing a darker version of the Golden Age Flash's suit. The effects of his version of the formula, however, proved to be temporary, and he was defeated when it ran out. He appeared a few months later and in battling the Flash reached light speed and vanished. He has the typical powers of a speedster but is definitely faster than our Flash, I guess, or at least Barry or Wally, especially when he comes back and becomes pure speed energy and possesses Max Mercury, but that's an entirely different story. The CW adaptation of the character more so resembles Daniel West's version of Reverse Flash, but also proved to be faster than both Wally West and Barry Allen, since this was the start of season 3 and Barry hadn't been supercharged yet. Edward Claris in the Arrowverse was a metahuman villain in the Flashpoint timeline and was the arch enemy of Wally West's Kid Flash. After Flashpoint was reset, however, he was given back his speed by alchemy using the Philosopher's Stone and then killed by Savitar while in jail. And at 6, Hurricane. Hailing from Earth 1610, the Ultimate Universe, Hurricane was first introduced in Ultimates 2 number 9 in 2006 and died shortly thereafter in Ultimates 2 number 12 that same year. However, before doing so, was invited to participate in a race hosted by Runner. Hurricane was a woman with superhuman speed from North Korea. She gained her speed somehow thanks to surgery, the story of which isn't entirely explored, but probably because it would just be difficult to explain. She joined the Liberators alongside representatives from Syria, Russia, and China to oppose America's Super Agents program represented by the Ultimates. Hurricane was killed by Quicksilver while holding America hostage. She died when Quicksilver moved so fast while holding her that she disintegrated. But while she may have died, getting invited to a racer's race is only reserved for the fastest speedsters in the multiverse, so there has to be something special about her that we missed out on seeing. So it would be a shame to discount her as potentially being faster than the Flash. Halfway through into number 5, Zoom. The CW version of Zoom was not exactly what everyone was expecting, although you do have to admit he is one of the best and scariest villains in the Arrowverse to date. The sheer demonic look that he had, especially with the suit on, shook even me. However, thanks to the Velocity 9 that he was taking, Hunter Zolomon was incredibly fast. The fastest we had ever seen at this point. So fast even that in order to fight him, Barry had to take speed out of the equation, and during the final fight Barry had to create a time remnant because he wasn't fast enough to stop Zoom with only one of him. It only got worse after Zoom had kidnapped Wally and Barry gave Zoom his speed in order to get Wally back, so this only made Zoom faster. And then it gets even worse again, when in the final fight the time wraiths come out of the Speed Force to take Zoom, and then he becomes the Black Flash and gets supercharged by the Speed Force to become the living embodiment of death for all speedsters. So yeah, it's safe to say that while he may not be faster than Barry now, at the time Zoom was the fastest speedster that we had seen. In it for Reverse Flash. But while he may have been the fastest in the show, there is no describing the significance of the Flash's true arch-enemy, the Reverse Flash. A few people have gone by this title over the years, but most notably Eobard Thawne. Thawne is the ultimate catalyst in Barry Allen's life, not only being the reason Barry's mother died, but also the reason he became the Flash. Since in the Flashpoint timeline in the comics and the animated movie, Barry had never gained his super speed when his mother was saved. In the year 2463, when he was a child, Eobard Thawne saw his father kill his mother. Later, he became connected to the Speed Force after being struck by a bolt of lightning and attempted to take over the Gem Cities, Central and Keystone. However, it didn't work because the 21st century hero known as the Flash was revered as a legend, which caused the people to rebel against Thawne and fight in the Flash's name. He would then forcefully take over cities and burn down the Flash Museum. Not to mention, going on and killing Barry's mother. This is like the ultimate level of petty. It's as if Eobard was Barry's jealous ex-girlfriend who went absolutely psycho when she sees him happy with someone else. Like, hot damn, dude. Just chill out. Getting close to the end, and in number 3, Savitar. The fastest evil speedster we've seen from the CW is Savitar. While his comic counterpart is certainly interesting, the truth is that the CW version of the character is even faster than the current version of the Flash, at least on the screen. Being so fast that he basically teleports between where he is and where he wanted to go. Not only that, but this was all while he was trapped inside a Speed Force prison, which is only more insane. The story for the character is kind of insane as well, with Savitar really being a time remnant of Barry that he used while fighting Savitar in the future. This time remnant then gets shunned by Team Flash and then gets mad about it, traveling back in time to become Savitar and start the cycle all over again. However, it seems that Savitar gets his increased speed from his suit, since when inside he can travel at near instantaneous speeds and has white lightning, whereas outside the suit he has orange lightning like Barry and travels at the same speed. So while this character is a version of Barry like Future Flash, his suit and his Savitar's persona is where he gets his incredible speed, so I think that's good enough to keep it in the top 3 spot. Penultimately, in at number 2, Black Flash. However, there is one speedster that even Savitar was scared of, that speedster being Black Flash. Black Flash is the Grim Reaper of the Speed Force, making his first appearance in the Flash Volume 2 number 138 in 1998. He was seen before the deaths of several speedsters, including Barry Allen, Johnny Quick, and Bart Allen, in essence not only making him the embodiment of death, but also the speedster omen of death. In the CW Arrowverse, he was Hunter Zolomon after being caught by time wraiths, and was killed in the season 3 finale by Killer Frost when he came after Savitar, since the Paradox had finally caught up with him. And in the comics, thanks to the combined efforts of multiple speedsters including Jesse Quick, Jay Garrick, and Max Mercury, Wally was able to race Black Flash to the end of time, causing death to just not exist apparently. Which didn't matter for long, since later Barry Allen returned in the Flash Rebirth storyline unknowingly becoming the new Black Flash, until Professor Zoom took over the title after his corpse was raised in the Blackest Night storyline. Jeez, there's a lot of Black Flashes. Finally, in at number 1, Runner. I've mentioned Runner earlier on this list, but the thing is, this guy isn't exactly a villain in the typical sense. But I mean, all godlike entities that don't really focus on helping and just do things for their own enjoyment are villains in some form or another, right? Well, Runner fits that bill, holding races of heroes and villains alike to see who's the fastest in the multiverse, but also being extremely arrogant. This guy has been around since the Big Bang and has had all that time to get faster and learn more. His main goal is not to blow up and then act like he don't know nobody, but rather to be the first person to see everything the universe has to offer. And if anyone can do it, it's gonna be this guy. He's so fast that he will show up at a place even before he's decided if he wants to go there, which doesn't make sense to me but still speaks volumes as to how fast this literal primordial being is. He's faster than the Speed Force, a literal force of nature, so he is absolutely faster than the Flash. And since he doesn't really care about keeping things in balance, I'm certain that he won't care if the world ends as long as he gets to see it. So, a villain in my book anyway. There we have it, friends, the top 10 villains faster than the Flash. Who's your favorite speedster and who is your favorite Flash? Barry or Wally, or I guess any of the other ones? Be sure you let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.